Hey guys, what's going down? This is Nick from Millennium Decks. This is our second deck profile video. We had just wrapped up Yugi's Battle City deck profile, and now we are going to profile Yugi's Virtual World profile. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. So we're back, getting into the Yugi deck. These are the cards only used in the virtual world. This deck was pretty difficult to make, but because he did have just 40 cards. So there are some cards in here that we will explain why we have chosen. So let's start first thing with Gazelle and Berfomet. Gazelle was actually the first monster he summoned in both Battle City and Virtual World, I'm pretty sure. But these two with the combo, you know, getting out Polymerization of Fuse Chimera. Really good combo. He relied on this a lot and pretty much throughout the whole anime once Season 2 started and throughout. So it's a really good combo. We've already explained what it does. So it's a pretty good combo-based card there. Then his reliable Kuribo. This is actually the first monster that was used for his deck master, and there are a few things we include in here that he didn't have the card of, but for the deck master ability, we will have some cards in there. But Kuribo was the first deck master he didn't really choose, but it was technically his deck master in the duel against Gazelle. Obviously, when we're running a Yugi deck, you're going to have the Dark Magician. And to go along with him, your Dark Magician girl. In this season, in the virtual world, there were a lot of combos he used with both Dark Magician and Dark Magician girl. Dark Magician girl also served as Teia's deck master during this series, but Yugi still pulled it out and used some nice combos in a few of those duels. Next up, we have the big Shield Gardna. I already expressed that I really like this card a lot. One of Yugi's go-to defensive monsters, gives him enough time to stall. But one thing though that's interesting, in Battle City and Virtual World, I don't believe he was attacked at all. So he pretty much used it as a wall. So yeah, it was obviously really good for him to use that card. Next up, Buster Blader. Now, Yugi never had a chance to summon Buster Blader in the virtual world. He had actually had to remove it from the game in order to summon another monster, which was only used in this series, and we'll get to that in a little bit. But Buster Blader was still seen and used in the actual show, so it's in his virtual world deck. Next up, Alpha, Beta, and Gamma, the Magna Warriors. Interesting fact here, Yugi only played Alpha, the Magnet Warrior in the virtual world, and he didn't even have Gamma or Beta. But the fact of the matter is, the fact that he had one of the Alpha, that Alpha was played, you had a good feeling that he just never had time to draw the other two. And this also is because Yugi did not have, I think, with just the other two, I think he had 39 cards maybe, but we had to add in them to make at least a 40 card deck for his virtual world deck profile. So the fact that, you know, Alpha was included in the deck, it helps a lot. And the last monster that was used for Battle City into the virtual world, Valkyrion. And again, going back to what I had mentioned to you guys earlier, Valkyrion was actually shown in his hand, or he might have discarded it, I forgot. He never really played it because, as you all know, the 3 Magna Warriors were not used in this season, but it is in our deck profile video just to get them out a lot easier. Now we're going to go on to the virtual world exclusive monsters. So the first monster up, the Obnoxious Celtic Guardian. They finally updated and made Celtic Guardian really, really good in the series. This is the first time he debuted in the duel against Gazelle. It's a really, really good card. Yugi obviously uses this after Season 3, and he keeps it into one of his decks, and one of his most trusted monsters. For those of you who don't know, he can't be destroyed by battle with monsters of 1900 attack or more. So again, this is a good stalling tactic, and especially in character decks when there's a really good monster that somebody summons, and when we're dueling with these guys, this thing really, really is a good lifesaver. So our next virtual world monster is an exclusive, Swift Gaia the Fierce Knight. Just like the original Celtic Guardian, the original Gaia the Fierce Knight got upgraded, and this was a really awesome card. Original Gaia, you know, 2 sacrifices for 2300 is really not worth it. This guy is pretty much with a special ability. No monsters in your hand, or no cards in your hand, you get to special summon it. It was really cool to see this. He uses this against Gazelle, and one of the cooler upgraded cards to his deck. Next up, Duelist Kingdom Classic card, the Winged Dragon Guardian of the Fortress #1. This was just awesome to see come back. I know it's not a strong monster with only 1400 attack, but it's nice to see, you know, some of these Duelist Kingdom monsters make a reappearance in the virtual world. I always like that classic feel, you know, starter deck Yugi. But in the Duelist Kingdom, he used this a lot. It was really, really nice to see it get re-debuted in the virtual world. However, he doesn't actually use this in a duel. He uses this when him and Yugi and Yami are going through the doors, and they gotta summon a monster or something to get through the maze. He uses Winged Dragon Guardian of the Fortress. Therefore, it was in his deck, so you gotta put it in here. Also, same scenario, the 4-star Ladybug of Doom. He does not duel with this card, but it helps him get through one of the trap doors. But in character decks, this could really get you out of a lot of jams, especially with a deck like Kaiba's that has, you know, 4-star Battle Ox, Forest Raider, Spirit Room, anything like that. Sangan. Now, I think the rumor is that he actually sets this in Duelist Kingdom, but it comes back in the virtual world in the duel against Noah. A great searcher, depending on what situation you're in a character deck. You know, you can bring out a Magna warrior if you need one. You can find the 4-star Ladybug of Doom, Obnoxious Celtic Guardian. It's just really cool to have this in here as well, so it could get you out of a lot of jams. Also a Duelist Kingdom Classic, Mythical Elf. Not used in Battle City. This is actually used in the virtual world, just like the other two. Makes a reappearance. I think he actually uses this with him and Joey against the Big Five together. Like Big Shield Gardna, really good defensive wall with 2000 defense. Eventually used for a sacrifice, but this could get you some stalling power in a character deck duel. Next, a virtual world exclusive monster, the Rock Spirit. He only uses this one time. It's in the duel against the Big Five. He uses the ability which, if you remove an Earth monster from play, you can special summon this card. In the duel, he removes Rock Spirit. I guess that was the only Earth monster in his graveyard, I guess, because I wouldn't remove him ever. But yeah, I mean, this is a cool card. Also, he has the ability of, during the opponent's battle phase, he gains, I believe it's 300 attack. Yeah, 300 attack. So he becomes a 2000 beat stick pretty much, and you know, it's really not that bad considering he can be special summoned. And also with his ability, it's good to have the other 3 Magna warriors in as well. Also virtual world exclusive, that's Volstgalph. Just like Rock Spirit, only used in the Big Five duel, only played once, but this guy is really nice. 1 tribute, 6-star monster with 2200 attack points. And the special ability is his attack points increased by 200 when your opponent plays a quick play spell. So this thing is really hard to get around with. But this is really cool that he has this in his deck. Curse of Dragon, actually not played in a duel. I think Yugi summons this card to escape from the Gozaboro fire fan. So again, Curse of Dragon he uses to escape from like Goes of War or something, but it was used in his deck. He pulls it from his deck, so therefore it is in his deck. Next up we got two ritual monsters. The first is the Magician of Black Chaos, and the second is Blackluster Soldier. Now, Magician of Black Chaos is actually used in the duel against Noah, and Blackluster Soldier is used during the escape scene. I think he throws him out there. Again, it's nice to see these ritual monsters come back into the virtual world. As you all know, these were not played in Battle City. But again, it's just really, really cool. And considering that this was a 43 card deck, Yugi actually, as you'll see in the spells, runs 2 copies of Blackluster Ritual, which makes him a lot easier to get out. So cool to have these ritual guys back in there. This card's awesome too. The Dark Magician Knight, exclusive to the double duel with Joey against the Big Five. It's pretty much a Dark Magician with 1,000 knives that comes with an equipped ability. You need the ritual spell, or no, excuse me, the spell card, Knight's Title. You need to tribute a Dark Magician with Knight's Title, and you get this guy on the field, and you can destroy a monster pretty much. That's pretty much what he's used for. But an awesome looking card, and really, really happy that they actually released this. And your last monster, the Mirage Knight. Now, one-on-one duels, this card is not going to be used because you need Dark Flare Knight's Fusion in order for this guy to come out. Obviously, Yugi doesn't use Flame Swordsman. That's Joey's card. So this is going to be used in the double duel exclusive, and that's why. So only going to be used in double duels. Now onto the spell cards. First up, as we just talked about, Knight's Title. This gets out your Dark Magician Knight. Really interesting thing here is that it was actually used in Joey's deck, and he helps him get out the Dark Magician Knight. Obviously, Joey doesn't have that. Dark Magician Knight belongs to Yugi's deck. You don't need Joey to summon it, unlike the Mirage Knight. Therefore, we put it into fit the 40 card limit, as well as because he has Dark Magician. Your Black Magic Ritual. This is used to get out your Magician of Black Chaos. Yugi had not one, but 2 copies of Blackluster Ritual. Now, for a character deck, this is awesome that he uses 2 of them in his that are actually seen in his hand. I think it said one was shown in his hand, and then one was actually discarded or something along those lines. But he does run 2, so therefore it is in his deck. Used in Battle City, used here again, Card Destruction. Classic Yugi card, Swords of Revealing Light, probably the originator of the swords. Obviously, Pot of Greed. I'm not sure if he actually officially uses this in Virtual World, however, there will be an updated channel video, and then it'll explain that all the character decks from the original anime have at least 1 Pot of Greed and 1 Monster Reborn, regardless of if they used it or not. Heavy Storm, one of a really, really good card that is used especially in character deck duels. Everybody knows what it does. The fact that he uses this, I think, is to get rid of when they're running through the doors with him and Yami. Exchange, I'm not sure if he actually played it, or it was either discarded or seen in his hand. You already know. Card of Sanctity. Great card. If you're new to the channel, we have errated it to the effect of drawing until you have 6 cards. Dispel. Polymerization. Multiply. We're gonna stop here just for a quick second. He doesn't actually use this in Virtual World, however, Karibo was his deck master, and to make up for the 40 card space, this card is used to make up for Karibo's Deckmaster ability. Same thing here with Magic Formula. Not used in Virtual World, however, he had Dark Magician as one of his Deckmasters. I don't remember exactly what it did. I think it just powered up Dark Magician or some Magician-related theme. Not exactly sure what it was, but, you know, he used this, so we might as well just put that in there. That does it for the spells. Now on to the traps. Nutrient Z. It is actually listed in Yugi's deck. I'm just not entirely sure if it was Joey who played it or not. I'm trying to remember when he used this, because I know Joey did officially have Nutrient Z. So I don't know if this was something used in the double duel, but for now, we'll put it in his deck profile. Mirror Force. Unfortunately, this was not used in his Battle City deck. It was actually used in the Virtual World, but it's nice to see this great card come back. Magical Hats. You guys already know about that one. And Dark Renewal. Now, in my last video, I actually made a little typo. I had Dark Renewal in his Battle City deck. He didn't actually use it in Battle City. He used it here first in the Virtual World. But you know, you get when your opponent summons a monster, if you have a spellcaster out, boom, boom, get Dark Magician right there if he's in your graveyard. So that's what that does. So that does it for monsters, spells, and traps. Now we're gonna move on to the extra deck. Chimera, also used in Battle City. This is you know, classic fusion that he just uses time and time again. And it's just a really good opening hand if you get Berfomet and Poly. Dark Paladin, not officially used, but we have Polymerization, we have Dark Magician, and we have Buster Blader. We thought about it, we were like, you know what, maybe we shouldn't put it in here because it wasn't debuted until the Battle City Finals, but you know, what is there to do when you have Buster Blader, Dark Magician, and a Poly? And you don't have the fusion material monster? Not really that good. So we decided to throw it in here for now. But the last fusion material monster, the Dark Flare Knight. Now, obviously you can't use this card unless you have Flame Swordsman because it's that fused with Dark Magician. So this is a double duel exclusive card. But other than that, you know, you really can't use this card. So, but it was cool to see this thing get released as well. So it's a really cool looking card, but only used in double duels. So that does it for Yugi's Virtual World deck profile. Coming up soon, we have Kaiba's and Joey's deck profiles. So stay tuned for that. And there's also going to be a surprise video after this. So stay tuned.